I'm buying the dip. You shouldn't buy a dip in a bear market. You should short it until bottom and then buy the bottom. No one knows when we're at a bottom. Better to get a reasonable discount hodl and ensure that I'm hodling during the largest growth days of the year. It's not a discount if it's gonna be half the price you bought next week. It absolutely is a discount if it's gonna be 100x the price I bought in 5 years.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. We are having a green day in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets, although we have started pulling back yet again towards the levels that we were yesterday. Now, we did have that dip directly after I put my video out. We got down to about 31,000. We did have the bounce back off of that level down here. That was very good. However, you can see that once again, we are hitting this resistance, and these resistances have been holding down the Bitcoin price for quite some time. Now, there is something very scary that we spoke about, and I know that people don't like to hear the bearish case, and don't worry, today's video actually is not bearish, but I do want to talk about something that is happening in the Bitcoin charts right now, and that is the potential of this Bitcoin death cross on the daily, and that would be with this 50 moving average moving below the 200 daily moving average. And if these two lines cross, that is actually very bearish for Bitcoin. That is not something that you want to happen. However, there is one thing I need to talk about right now, and if we go back into the charts and historically look at what has happened on crazy moves like this for Bitcoin, there is actually some bullish possibility that we could be looking for an insane reversal. And if this does happen, we could be looking for the continuation of the bull trend that everyone has been speaking about. Now, keep in mind, today we did have big news from El Salvador. I'm going to talk about what that means for Bitcoin. Is it even going to affect the price? Could it possibly have any effect on this massive dump that we've already seen in the markets? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. And if you guys are interested in learning about how I am going to be trading this move and what I'm looking for specifically, stick around. And if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. And without further ado, let's start in the charts like we usually do. Now, you can see right here, we have been looking at this blue zone territory right here. We have a few key lines, that being around the 31,200, 32,900, and $34,600 level. And you can see that Bitcoin is struggling to break back out of this zone right now. And currently, we had a little bit of a wick out to the top side, but we're struggling to have that breakout. And unfortunately, we do have a lot of this resistance points that are keep pushing us down. Now, you don't really want us to essentially be forming a bit of a descending triangle if that is the case. Obviously, we have a lot of buying from the bottom up. This is good. This shows interest. You can see these wicks that we have buying up right here, and right here. However, we could be looking to be forming a bit of a descending triangle right here. And if this resistance keeps us down for a long time, well, I don't have to tell you what happens. Most of these break to the downside. But today is not to bring you a bearish video. I explained the scenario to you yesterday. Now, we did have an excellent opportunity on this anchor wave into trigger wave. I did, in fact, take this trade. I didn't hold it all the way to the top. I wish I did. But as you can see right now, we are looking to sort of be curving the other way. And by the way, I do like looking at the 1 hour specifically for these indications. And over here, you know, you can see we're already having difficulty breaking out of this. So there may be that possibility that we come down and we do retest around the $32,000, $33,000 level. If we do break out, we're going to have some immediate resistance again. You can see at these two purple levels. And then we obviously have the macro resistance if I actually zoom out right here. And if we were to go straight up, that would bring us to about $38,000. Now, currently the market has been leaning bearish. The trend has been down. So the real play has been to essentially short these resistances. But I'm going to let you know exactly what I'm looking at in just a moment. Now, in yesterday's video, I told you guys that I am anticipating a bounce. At some point, we could be seeing that right now. I talked about the fact that we do have a lot of support down here on this trend. Yes, we could, if we do breach this, we are going to be going a lot lower, potentially even retesting the old Bitcoin highs at around 20,000. However, there are a lot of bears out there that are expecting that. In fact, if you look at the long to short ratio right now on exchanges, the shorts are definitely outperforming the longs. Now, keep in mind, when everybody starts to go short, it's very common to see what's known as a short squeeze. The same way that we had this long squeeze from here when the entire market was going long, we needed the funding rates to reset, etc. It would not be out of the cards to see something where we actually bounce, rebound up. We might, touch some of these levels, but I'm actually anticipating Bitcoin to potentially come up to one of these higher levels, and I even think a $55,000 Bitcoin is possible. At that point, we would really need to reassess the situation, because if we do start to have that downtrend, then I do think we're looking for a prolonged bear market. But as I said, this video is not to be bearish because, well, let's actually just start with the bearish part, and then I'll let you know why there could be a possibility for a major rebound. Now, obviously, as you guys can see right here, we are looking to potentially have a death cross. This looks like it could be happening within the next few days, and this would signal a very, very bearish scenario for Bitcoin. You can actually see, if we go back in time right here, anytime that we've had these bear crosses right here, for example, where we dumped, we also just, we had this fake out, which is kind of like the fake out pump I'm talking about, which is the $55,000 pump that we could have. And then we had the crazy dump, right? And we also saw the same exact thing happen back here in 2017 after the major bull rally to, the original $20,000 high. We had the 50 moving below the 200. We had the death cross. And yes, we did have a little bit of a fake out pump again. Like I said, there will be that fake out pump. And then we just continue to dump for the next several months, right? So everything does appear to be looking bearish right now. However, I have a feeling, okay? And you should never trade on emotions or feelings. You should just look at the charts. But that being said, being in these markets for 5 years, I personally do not believe that what we saw was the Bitcoin top. I don't care about the Wyckoff distribution pattern, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Whale manipulation, this is not how markets top out. Markets top out with blow-off tops, with insane exuberance, crazy wicks to the upside. They don't go sideways for 3.5 months, and then that's how the market ends. No, markets don't give people that much time to sell the top. And what it reminds me of is, if we actually go back even farther, and this is what I've been saying for weeks now on this channel, what we are seeing, in my opinion, is a mini bear market, or a smaller sort of downtrend in a macro uptrend. So what I think is going to happen is something more similar to what we saw back here in 2013, where we actually had the 50 come all the way down, kiss the 20, and then have a massive rally. And all this represented right here was just a major 80% drawdown in a massive upwards trend where Bitcoin topped. Bitcoin peaked at $32, came all the way down to $2, and then went back up to over $1,000. But we did have this 80% little mini, sort of like tiny micro bear market within the macro trend. And I believe that that is a strong possibility. So getting back to over here, what actually could end up happening is something where we have the 200, coming up like this, and all of a sudden we have the 50 come down, and then all of a sudden it just takes off. Now, that's a lot of hopium. I hope you guys are having fun with that. But what am I going to be looking for? Well, I'm going to be paying very, very close attention to the Bitcoin CME futures chart. A lot of people don't put enough weight on this chart. This is a very important chart. This is what traditional traders, veterans are looking at, okay? This is the Wall Street chart. Keep in mind, it does not trade on the weekends. So this chart only represents 5 days at a time. This daily chart differs from a lot of the other charts. Now, although we have seen, a green buy signal on some of these, if you actually took this signal and bought right here, well, that would have been a terrible idea because the price continued to slide since then. However, What I am looking for and what I do believe could happen is if we do in fact get something like here of a trigger wave coming back up or even back down and putting into a third wave where then we do have, a line right here where essentially we're having smaller wave after smaller wave and we do see this, red start to come back up, I believe that we could potentially have that reversal and it could even happen within the next week or so. So I am keeping my eyes on the death cross. I have seen death cross fake outs before, but I do think that after the 54% pullback, the fact that we haven't had a blow off top, and the fact that this is more reminiscent of 2013 than it is of 2017, then I would certainly be keeping my eyes on this. And if this does happen, then yes, I would 100% switch back to being Bitcoin long, and I think we would, for the most part, just be on a straight shot. Definitely to 42K, but I'd still be keeping my eyes on 55K. So that's kind of like the bullish outlook, and I wanted to bring that to you guys. If you guys are interested in learning how to trade, you can, head on over to Bybit if you guys are interested. I do have a tutorial popping up above, as well as almost $4,000 worth of bonuses. If you guys are interested, you could check out that link below in the description, and you can see we're actually trying to have this breakout right now. So keep your eyes on this. This is a very critical moment. Everyone's looking at this, the death cross. Everyone thinking we're going to go down to 20K. Shorting resistances has been the way to go. However, things could change very quickly. You know this is crypto. And talking about things that are actually changing right now, although we have seen a lot of illiquid Bitcoin moving into liquid Bitcoin, which is technically bearish because that means that, some of these whales are depositing Bitcoin on the exchanges. Glassnode actually noted that even though we have seen 160,700 Bitcoin moving onto the liquid circulation out onto exchanges and things, etc., that only represents about 22% of the circulating supply. And despite the inflow of Bitcoin into the market, they say that long-term holders who actually sold, there were some wallets, whale wallets, that did sell at the top. Those exact wallets have actually started to reaccumulate Bitcoin again at this level. So I've also seen some people saying that we're having, an upside down Wyckoff distribution. That's a possibility, but we have proof right here on chain that some of these guys are starting to actually accumulate Bitcoin again at these levels, and that could definitely be a bull signal. We also have massive news. I'm sure you heard about it, but we have the president of El Salvador saying the Bitcoin law has been approved by a supermajority of the Salvadorian Congress, 62 out of 84 votes. History being made. Bitcoin. Now, keep in mind, the bill has to be sent back to the President Bukele, but come on, why would he not sign it? He's essentially the one that put this into the legislation in the first place. So we're pretty sure that this is going to end up being passed. And this is a milestone. This is history being made right now during a 50% crash, during doom and gloom. Everybody's selling Bitcoin. Get out of it. FUD this and FUD that. And Elon Musk. And history is being made before our eyes, my friends. This is fundamentally probably some of the biggest news, bigger than Elon Musk, originally putting Bitcoin in Tesla reserve, bigger than MicroStrategy. This is huge. And you could see you had Eden Yago, co-founder at Sovereign, saying that 70% of people in El Salvador do not have bank accounts. Thanks to Bitcoin, they will never need them. El Salvador will leapfrog our increasingly corrupt monetary and financial systems and be among the first people to benefit from a more transparent, more secure system. El Salvador's move to make Bitcoin legal tender will likely have important consequences for Bitcoin investors worldwide. Bukele's initial announcement has already appeared to trigger a domino effect in the Americas, with politicians in Panama, Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay reportedly now also looking to follow El Salvador on adopting Bitcoin as their national currency. And people called us crazy when we said this last year, when we said that it's only a matter of time until we have nations buying Bitcoin, until nations are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets, recognizing Bitcoin as legal tender. Maybe even taxing Bitcoin, right? I mean, that would be like the next step, right? And this is just the beginning, my friends. This is the start of something, a small spark that starts the wildfire, right? During a live audio conversation also, President Nayib Bukele said that El Salvador would grant permission to resident immigrants for as little as 3 Bitcoin. Okay, so that's about $100,000. That might still be a lot of money for a lot of people, but the fact that they're actually accepting Bitcoin for residency is really just incredible. And it says, according to him, the government will launch a Bitcoin wallet for its citizens, and people, they can use that, but they can also use any wallet that they want. They will also be running a trust fund, which will hold roughly $150 million worth of Bitcoin to offset the volatility to ensure that merchants won't have to take a risk. How incredible is that? But of course, my friends, you know, Peter Schiff had to come out. He says an objective look at long-term Bitcoin charts. He talks about going lower, down to these crazy levels, to which the advisor of Colombia's president literally said, short it and stop talking. I kind of agree. If you really think that Bitcoin's going to fail, Mr. Peter Schiff, why haven't you shorted it? Just open a short, you know? And by the way, guys, I know we've talked about, you know, having shorts, but I would never short Bitcoin long term, ever. That would be insane. I don't actually even like shorting Bitcoin, but there has been some good opportunities recently to put in some quick shorts in order to gain more Bitcoin. Because for me, the end goal is to get more Bitcoin. So you have Castro Sierra displaying his support towards the primary cryptocurrency being Bitcoin for a while, including agreeing with Jack Dorsey's views that Bitcoin could ultimately make the world greener. I even heard some theories about, wouldn't it be cool if Tesla could like somehow put Bitcoin miners in their cars and then you could mine Bitcoin while you drive? I don't know. Not really interested in Tesla really at this moment, but would be kind of cool. And if that's not bullish enough for you guys, before we get on out of here, I just wanted to show you the flip side. Yesterday's video, I know, it was a little bit bearish. I can tell by the comments. People don't like bearish videos. I get it, guys. You know, it's our money at stake here. I get it. But look at this. 157.1 billion asset manager Victory Capital is looking to enter the cryptocurrency markets. This was developed by Brazilian asset manager Hashdex and U.S. stock exchange, the NASDAQ. The index tracks the performance of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a hodgepodge of altcoins, which has about a 5% weighing total. But in addition, the firm is looking to roll out 2 separate private funds that will also track Bitcoin and Ethereum indices. So, guys, it's happening. It's happening. I know the price action is scary. I get it, especially if you're new to crypto. You're probably saying, what did I do? I bought too high. What is going on? But we know, guys, as history has proven time and time again. Let me actually switch this to a bigger chart right here. I mean, guys, if you have a look at what we're looking at right here, essentially, you know, it doesn't matter if you bought the top here, if you bought the top here, if you bought the top here, if you bought this top, if you bought this little mini top right here, and I can assure you, it doesn't matter if you bought the top here either. The long-term hodlers have always been rewarded. The fundamentals are absolutely stronger than ever. Could we still go into a little bit of a mini bear market potentially for the next couple months? I'm not going to rule it out until I see us putting in a macro higher high, but at the end of the day, guys, the ultimate trend is your friend. And I'm just going to scribble all over this chart because we know where this trend is going. It is going to the moon. And yeah, history has proven us that this is exactly what we are expecting from Bitcoin. And yeah, I wouldn't be betting against it. Let me just say that. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. If you guys enjoy these videos, feel free to leave a like. It does help the YouTube algorithm. I did take a few days off and I feel like I'm being punished for it because YouTube just loves when you put as many videos out as possible. So keep your eyes on Bitcoin. We could be breaking that resistance today. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. And if you haven't seen these videos popping up right here, right now, check them out. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.